All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Germ, what's that famous line?
We're here.
We are here. This is the World of Controversy podcast, the podcast that gives you all forms of controversy.
79 episodes.
79 episodes. And this is your boy J-Rob
And Germ Griffin.
We're in sync, Germ.
Oh, listen, I'm less in sync as the days go on. I've done 80 episodes with you. I think 80% been in sync. The other 20 been so off, I'm telling you, man. And today I feel like I'm stuck in a matrix with hearing people's lies and I'm hearing myself and other people, you know. But anyway, we got two really good guests. Listen, I have never been more hyped for a show in a while. I mean, last time I've been this hype, we had Asa Khalif, and he was, talking to you about you, being attracted to Asian women and stuff. But
Hold on.
I want to talk
women?
about the two guests we have on. It's been a lot of work to get these guys on. No, we're not even talking about it. We're not talking about it. Go back, listen to the episode. I got exposed for loving Meghan Markle, I think. But, that was an old one, too.
He trying to say I love Asian women. What?
Would our two guests like to introduce themselves?
Go on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so my name is Marquise Davon. I am the host of the Keepin It podcast, educator, activist here in Philly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's still no feedback. Sorry.
Okay. I'm Ricky. My handle is Panamanian Ricky. I don't know what I am. I'm just a person that just like to talk. You know what I'm saying? I talk. I give my perspective. I guess I'm what you would call somewhat of a conservative. I'm a husband, a father. And that's pretty much it, man. I maybe at some point I'll do a podcast, but I just like to talk and give my perspective. That's all.
You're a conversationalist.
That's it.
Okay.
Perfect.
You're a conservative conversationalist. That's what you are. Okay. Awesome. Well, like always, you're listening to World of Controversy podcast. We got Julian Rob on the track. Julian Rob, what we talking about today?
J-Rob, all right, on this track. So, in this episode, we're going to do a very big, controversial, classic debate. Democrats versus Republicans, liberals versus conservative. Which is the better party? Which one is the one to go to? Which one, brother? It's the one you should give your heart and give your all to.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, which one to vote for, you know what I mean?
Which one is getting that vote?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that energy.
Which one should black people go to?
Now that's Rob. Hold up. No, wait a minute, Rob. That's a good question.
That's the crux right there.
Because the problems for black people might be different than the problems for other demographics. Yeah. I mean, one party might be more, in tune with a certain group or a certain race versus another. You know what I mean?
Or it could be that maybe that we're all Americans at the end of the day. And so maybe one party or the other might be doing what's best for us all as a, as a nation.
Oh, man, this is about to get good. Anyway, let me get this thing popping.
Let's get it.
All right, so really quick, and usually we don't even do the interview part, but I do want to know what key, influencers or people influence y'all to create the ideologies or to have y'all land on whichever ideology you're landing on. Was there a key person in your life that made you either conservative or liberal?
Yeah, I think for me, it was definitely back in 2016 when Philando Castillo was shot by the police, and I needed a space to figure out where I needed to place my anger and my frustration around how they just murdered a black man right in front of us. Right. And so in that moment, I was in New York interning 2016 by myself. I was in the PJs and I saw that the night before and I was interning out there. And that next day, everybody in the offices, they was all white. were kind of moving as normal. And I was like, oh, I'm stuck from last night and what I witnessed. And so for folks to like move on that time, I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And so when I went up to Harlem. Mark Lamont Hill was having a conversation. This when he was having his book Nobody. And from there, I was like, oh, he's speaking to the frustration that I'm experiencing right now. And he's giving language to what I am feeling and how to kind of place it and knowing at least what are some moves I need to make in order to at least help my own community. So Mark Lamont Hill was definitely somebody who placed a huge influence, but definitely like the murder of a Philando Castillo was the thing that really incited me to move into much more of a radical politic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. That was nice.
That was good. Thank you.
All right.
Ricky.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I think for me is I'm just like a student of history. So
Okay.
Oh man, I thought you was gonna say something else.
So I think conservatism is something that's kind of misunderstood. I think that we as Black people have been conditioned to think certain things about conservatism. Like me growing up, I thought that conservatism meant conservative means racist white person, racist Republican. But conservatism is really about your beliefs and values. So you look at a person like Frederick Douglass, he was a conservative. He would be considered a conservative. Booker T. Washington would be considered a conservative. One of my heroes is Malcolm X. And obviously, I don't know if, based off his core beliefs, you could say that Malcolm X, his core beliefs would be that of a conservative person, because conservatism is basically your beliefs and values. So I look at those kind of things. And then if we move forward to today, you look at like a person like a Larry Elder, who, when I didn't know anything, when I was just ignorant, because I would just go along with what everybody told me. And so I thought Larry Elder, here's a Black guy who hates Black people. But then I started to sit down and listen to what he actually had to say. There's a Black guy who cares about the Black community, but the difference is that he doesn't air a whole bunch of grievances about the past. He's talking about what's going on today. I'm from Philadelphia. I know what's going on outside. I don't see anything going on outside that has anything to do with slavery or Jim Crow or segregation or the white man. Everything that I see from the time I was a little boy walking around all the way as an adult grown man has to do with us. And so do we have some grievances? Yes, but I feel like conservatism is more, when you look at Black conservatives, I think we are the ones who are saying, hey, we have these issues here, let's deal with them. And then on the other side, it's just a bunch of, hey, I'm a victim, I'm oppressed, and it's everybody else's fault. So that's what really drew me to conservatism, because, again, I'm a student of history, and I saw that you can go back to the late 1800s. Black people were thriving, and Black people were getting into politics and entrepreneurship and all these kind of things. And then my whole life, people told me that I couldn't do anything, and that my skin color is holding me back or whatever. And then I got older and I started to mature, and I realized that it was me. I'm holding myself back. My bad choices and my bad decisions are the only thing that hold myself back. Now, as far as like Philando Castile, I saw that video and I was upset about it too. But I don't think that for me, it made me feel as though the entire world was against me, or the country that I live in was against me, or it made me hate the country that I live in, because I can look around every day. I go outside and I see successful Black people thriving, Black people doing well. And so I just don't believe that. And I just, if I had to, I know I'm going long, but if I had to just look at the two things, I feel like on one side, I can see people doing well. And I know that most of us, judging off myself and my peers, there's no person holding us back but us. And then on the other side, we're being told that we're being held back, which kind of pigeonholes us and it handicaps us because it gives us a built-in excuse as to why we can't. But I don't know.
And that actually gonna take us to the next point, and that's the question: what is, like, can y'all define
conservative and can you define liberal?
And then after each of y'all define those, I want you guys to talk about
You kind of already
yeah, I know you
Yeah.
kind of gave it already,
conservative
but
in there.
I want y'all to kind of talk about the problem with each other's definition. So if you want to start, either of y'all define liberal or conservative.
Well, I also want to just be very clear. The liberals, I said, there's still problems within that party, in that group of people and mindset. So when it as it relates to black people, first and foremost. So that's also just kind of want to steep it into that space. However, when we think around somebody who's considered liberal, this just means their politic is a lot more progressive. And it's progressive in the sense of they need to look at the system holistically. And so, yes, there is something to talk around the individual experience that is happening, but it's also the push of like, you need to overcorrect the stuff that we've kind of ignored, right? And so as the world is changing and definitions are happening and different lives are existing and evolving, you need to be able to acknowledge what does it mean to make sure that everybody has access to healthcare? What does it mean that everybody has access to fair housing and fair wages and $15 for minimum wage in a space that just moved, right? You need to progress with where society is going. And so when you think around it, most times progressives or liberals go with like progression and like adapting. Oftentimes with conservatives, it tends to be like, let's be rooted in the individual and the family values. And so that's why I kind of push on this definition that you also provided a little bit more, because it doesn't talk around the actual party as a whole. It talks around some more of like an individual experience, because by your definition, yeah, all of us are pretty conservative if that's the case, because do we enjoy family values, right? Do we think the family should be here? All of that stuff. That's true, right? Yeah. We all value that, but I wouldn't say that that's strictly a conservative ideal. I think their image of what the nuclear family could look like is very specific and very much so steeped in America. And so I push because Malcolm X wasn't a conservative. He enjoyed family, but he wasn't a conservative. Frederick Douglass, he's an abolitionist. He did not believe in the world that he was in right now that was okay. Slavery needed to be abolished. Right?
So hold on. Let me just say this though. Because conservatism, that's what I mean. So why do we so if I say Frederick Douglass was a conservative, if he was a conservative, that doesn't mean that he was pro-slavery. Conservatism does not mean racist. It doesn't mean you're pro-slavery.
I actually didn't say it was racist or anything, but what conservatives do believe is that black people were chattel. They do believe
that's
that
a conservative value?
That was a conservative value. That's what it would be if we are talking around what it is now. Now, there's a difference of like a Republican of that time. That's what they called Frederick Douglass. And we know as time changed, Democrats and Republicans actually switched roles, right? And so that's important to be able to situate ourselves historically. This is what it used to be. So yes, black people used to be Republican because that was the party of the people. And then as the definition switched, civil rights movement and all of that stuff, it moved into much more of a democratic space. So that's why I argue I can appreciate what you were talking about in your definition and how you got there, because it's focused on what can I do to pull myself up by those bootstraps? How can I get myself and lift myself out of the struggle? However, what I'm actually arguing is if you have a critical mass of black folks who are experiencing the exact same thing, then yes, we actually have to say this can't. If there are 10 people in a room and 8 people all said, well, did y'all all feel that too? You in a room full of white people or non-black people and you see some wild thing that your boss said, and we all look at each other in the eye, make eye contact and say, I know you saw that. We had a collective experience. And so when you take that collective experience and then move it forward, you're also like, oh, wow, how did this impact us systematically? We all, I would say, like, we look at mass incarceration. Who did that disproportionately impact, right? That disproportionately impacted black people. That's what disrupted the black family. That's actually how we ended up in Philadelphia today, because who did they take off the streets? The OGs. If they take the OGs off the street, you don't have anybody guiding the youth. If the youth now don't know, don't mess with women, don't mess with elderly, don't mess with children, don't do any of this stuff around schools. There's at least a level of respect that happened back in the day. That does not exist today, because who was removed from the community? Those black men were removed from the community, even if we respect what they did or did not, right? That's the reality. And so when I think about it like that, you can talk around it from the streets. That's where I know where I grew up. And so seeing how it's impacted today, and I have the lens for me personally as an educator, I watch how these systematic laws are taking opportunities away. Conservatives took away some of my students' opportunity to get scholarships. Conservatives took away the opportunity for my kids to be able to go to college, and they're all going to be the first in their families to go. So to me, yeah, I do have an issue when it comes to conservatism. I do think family values are important. I do think, yes, us as individuals can come up off some stuff, but in reality, we got to actually engage in the political process in order to actually know. So there does require us as Black people to progress ahead. It is required of us. I'm not saying we subscribe to the liberals, because I don't think white liberals or non-Black liberals have us in mind. So yeah, I do think the Black Panther Party was a political party that I believe actually had the values that we needed. That's where I would go, like, yeah, third party would be them. So that's long-winded, but that's why I push back a little bit in terms of like the definitions and how we're looking at it, because I think we're just looking at it from the individual versus the collective. And that's where I think sometimes that's where the issues when it comes to Black folks who are conservative or liberal hit out ahead.
Right.
So,
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, did you want to define any of those terms, liberal or conservative?
Well, I think that I mean, we only got so much time, so maybe another time we could do a show on. We can all do our research, and we can do a show on whether or not the parties actually switch. Right? I don't want to get into that, but what I will say is, as far as like, again, I think that the problem is that conservatism, and I really believe this. I think that we've been conditioned to hear that word and be triggered by it and automatically think something. But again, like you said, if you go back for 70 years after slavery, you could say Black people were Republicans, but Black people historically have always been conservative. And so,
I'll be clear. Black people outside of politics are very conservative.
Yes. So
Black people participating in politics, we tend to move liberally.
Liberal. Okay. So, all right. So, again, all right. Since I was a little kid, right, I've always been a great admirer of Malcolm X, right? And some years ago, I was watching one of his talks, and he's talking about, because this is the 1960s, obviously, so he's talking about racial injustice. And Malcolm X said that there are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but none of those people go under the label of liberal, okay? He said that the white person that you see who calls himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. This is what he said.
He did.
He said that the liberal is like a fox. He said that the fox is more dangerous in the woods than the wolf, because the wolf you can see coming. But the fox, he comes to you in a way where even though you can see his teeth, you think he's smiling.
He did say that.
And to me, right, and this is just my opinion, I feel like that is probably more accurate today than it was then. I feel like the liberal comes to us smiling under the guise of being a friend, and they use us as a means to push their agendas. And so I don't think that we have that much of a difference.
I was going to say, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, it feels like to me, it's funny, like even going to the South this past week, I was saying, I was just like, no, it's very clear where they're like, we want Black people here and where we don't want, and white people here, Black people here. It's very apparent. Us in the Northeast, especially up here, we're so integrated a lot more. And so because of that, we have no choice but to coexist. They know where their sundowntowns are at down south, all right? You know where to be, where not to be. So yes, me and you actually agree on that specific Malcolm X quote. I literally talked about that earlier in a video about Ezra Klein, who's a white liberal, and Ta-Nehisi Coates, who is a Black radical. And so even in that conversation, we agree in that there are limitations of white liberals. And that's the reality. Those are the folks that we can't necessarily trust, because every time we get to the goalpost, they tend to move it or say, well, don't do it just like that, right? And so we're actually in agreement in terms of that. I think the reality is, like, the ways in which we approach it, you approach it in a sense that feels a little bit more conservative, but you just don't want excuses for Black people, if that is an accurate assessment, right?
Right.
And I don't see us addressing a systematic issue or a systemic issue as us being victims. Because I push back on this idea of us having a victim mentality.
Right.
I actually push and say, well, we are actually overcorrecting 400 years of nonsense that happened to us, right? Okay. And so it's hard to say that you're a victim when throughout this entire time, you've had roadblock after roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And so like my push, or at least the analogy I would use is, do we all utilize subtitles when we're watching TV?
No.
Nope.
Have we utilized a ramp to get somewhere that's ADA compliant?
No.
If you walked up a ramp before and not the steps.
Yeah, sure.
Did you use an elevator?
Oh, I thought you meant like every time.
Oh, no. But have you participated in utilizing an elevator,
Yes.
an escalator, a ramp? Right?
Yeah.
And so the reality is they would see that as a DEI or this is too liberal of doing this thing. But we get to benefit from this thing to give us access all the time. Right? And so it is like this idea of when I look at why my politic is a little bit more human-centered, and my politic is actually beyond just liberal, it's abolitionist, right? And so even by that definition, I'm just like, no, this world does not fundamentally work for Black people. And I think that's oftentimes where, when we talk around Black radicals and Black conservatives, a lot more of the issue is around, I think a lot of us want the same ends. I think how we get there looks different, or how we approach it may look different. So that's why I was like, I think it's a little bit more of like, can you be mindful enough to know that somebody who might be differently able needs the ramp, but that doesn't mean you can't use the ramp. Okay. Right? And we can still take the steps if we choose to. And we don't like taking steps because we hate leg day. So, but that's why I always kind of push when we think around this idea a lot of the time, because oftentimes we want the same thing, but you framed it as like there's victims and we should be able to pull ourselves up. Where in my mind, I'm like, nah, dog, like to me, history does actually play a role because we had to survive despite. And that's why I think that's my push a little bit. Yeah.
Let me get Robinson really quick. Rob.
Oh, man. Y'all guys are like tearing this up. I mean, I'm gonna have to come up with something, man. First, I'm gonna come with y'all with a question, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of hitting on where I'm coming at.
Me.
Can
You.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
Where this question about to come at. What is one criticism you have of your own political ideology, party?
So, I mean, I would say that the biggest problem with
the Republicans.
with the Republicans is that Republicans don't know how to talk to Black people.
Wait, hold up. That's honest.
Yeah.
That is honest. Ricky, that is honest. That's honest.
You could say Wallace if you want. It's cool. But no, the Republicans don't know how to, really communicate with Black people. But it's twofold, right? Because all right. So I'm just gonna say this, right? Before I get back to that. So they don't know how to talk to Black people because it's almost like almost like a lost cause. I'm a person who has been to Trump rallies. I'm a person who have spoken to Republican politicians, and it's like, I think that we have this idea that it's like it's Black people and it's white people, and then it's like, it's this huge, it's a disconnect, it's all this racism. But I go and I talk to some of these people, man, and it's just, I walk into a Trump rally and it's like, hey, what's up, brother this, brother that. I'm sitting there talking to these people, and I'm just being serious, man.
No, this is good.
I hate when
listen,
I
brother. But I don't have a problem with that because at the end of the day, we call ourselves Muslims and Jews and Christians, and at the end of the day, whatever God you serve is the God of humanity. So I've never read in any, religious text where God is the God of a specific race of people. So that's me. I don't do a whole bunch of. I love black people. I'm a black man, but at the end of the day, we are human beings. So that's how I look at the world. And so if a white guy come up to me and call me brother, I'm not taken aback by it because.
You don't quietly hear a hard ER when he does that. It's be like, what up, brother?
All right, cool. But this is what I want to say, and so I can be quiet and go on to the next question.
Funny,
Republicans have a problem with communicating with black people,
Right.
and a lot of it has to do with they've just given up on it.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't know if you know this, but black people in America aren't allowed to vote for anybody but Democrats. You know that?
Let me get his answer, and then we gotta go on a break. Let me get your answer, and then let's go on a break.
Answer, but
You can't do that. You can't say that. No, because niggas, black people really do be voting.
black people can vote
They can vote whoever they want to.
All right, true.
Yes, they can vote whoever they want
Can I
to.
just say something real quick? We got to break. All right, go ahead.
We gotta go on break. Let's
Go
get
ahead.
his answer, and then we'll go on break.
So I would say I actually have the very same answer when it comes to white liberals and like their issue with like black folks. I think oftentimes they don't know how to speak because they live in a theoretical. And that's my issue a lot of the time. There's no actual lived experience when it comes to liberals. A lot of the time it's using like this high language all the time. And that's something even I had to learn, right? Like I graduated from college and said, I'm going to be down with white supremacy, patriarchal capitalism. My older brother said, Marquise, what you just said? And I said, oh, you're right. And so it took me to realize like, oh, if I'm actually down to help black people and where I came from, and I came from poverty, I was like, oh, I'm speaking a fundamentally different language. How am I supposed to be able to help? Right. And so that's my entire thing is just like when you're having these conversations, am I able to still meet you at where you're at? That's honestly what Trump got right. He knows how to talk to people on a third grade level.
Wow.
Not calling people dumb, but like, you know how to meet them where they're at. Right. Yeah. And so that's where I think, liberals actually got it wrong is because if you think everything's in theory, but you have no lived experience, and if the majority of y'all are white, you can't tell a black person about their lived experience and theoretically say, here's systematic racism. Right. And so I think that's the other thing because you don't have that experience. So that's my quick answer because I know you got to run the break.
Rob, let's go on a break, Rob.
Break.
All right, we hitting the break. We'll be right back. But we still live on Instagram and yeah.
That was good, man. That was real good.
Flip that. Alrighty. We are back. We're back. We're black in the mix. We're black. Guess who? Black again.
We're the Controversy Podcast, episode 79. 79
episodes. Yes, 79 episodes of dealing with this fool over here. Yeah. My brother over here, the conservative guy, man. You said you went to the Trump rallies, right?
Yeah, I went.
Yeah. Were you at the hold on. Let me finish, man. Were you at the Republican convention center?
What, in Philly?
The RNC.
The RNC?
No, I didn't go to that.
You ain't go to that?
No.
Oh, man, I was going to ask, was you there when Hulk Hogan gave a speech over there?
Lord help us.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Hulk Hogan gave a speech for Donald Trump, man.
I know.
Yeah, what about it?
Oh, man. Nah, I was just saying, Hulk Hogan gave Donald Trump his endorsement,
Okay. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan.
Pray for patience.
Pray
for patience.
We had a big
pray for patience
in the wrestling world.
Pray for patience.
With
Pray for patience.
With the last election,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always going to be a divide.
You had Undertaker and Kane doing that interview with Trump, and they were supporting him, and then you had Batista on the Democrat side.
Rob, that was not your favorite presidential interview. I heard you like that Cardi B Joe Biden interview too.
Actually, no, I did not like that.
No, you didn't like that?
I did.
Okay. I was just talking to someone about that too. I don't get it. I don't understand that Cardi B one.
I don't get it.
Was it a good joint?
No, I mean, it's a fluff piece, right? Like, it wasn't anything to be taken overly serious, but I do think, at least for her, she has been, like, somebody who's been participating in politics either way, so.
Right.
So even as somebody who participates in politics, she's been doing a lot of talking around, like, fair housing up in New York City and stuff like that. So she's been a big advocate to ensure like folks are also just getting proper and adequate housing. So that's just something she's always been passionate about because that's how she grew up. But to be honest, it's just like a big personality. And they were just trying to utilize celebrities to get as much reach as possible. Which,
they was utilizing celebrities for Kamala Harris too much. I mean, having Megan Thee Stallion twerking at the her rallies. I mean, that was not a good look at all.
You can't do that and then just get done saying Hulk Hogan and the Undertaker were right there. That does not make any sense. That's not fair.
Well, that's different things.
Man.
No,
because
it's not.
Hold on. Yes, it is. Hold on.
Hogan actually gave a speech. It was better than anything Kamala Harris did.
Kamala, for one. But two, no, right? Like, yes, you can still deliver a speech, but you cannot move the goalpost because you just moved the goalpost for Hulk Hogan. But we're real quick to like condemn Megan Thee Stallion.
Can I say something?
And so in that, real quick,
go ahead.
So even in that moment too, like you can't say the use of celebrities in politics when celebrities and politics have always went together. You just use somebody who is a celebrity from wrestling, and though wrestling also is a huge indicator of how politics run most times, that's also a thing. So you can't just condemn somebody who is on a reality TV show and then you condemn a rapper. That don't make sense. No, you cannot.
Can I say something real quick?
That's crazy.
But what is the message we're trying to bring to people? Because if twerking is that message, then
are you respectable? Are you one of those folks who indulge in respectability politics?
Yeah.
So if that, but let's also be clear. You real quick. You just got done talking around the world of controversy.
The world of controversy.
Right?
Yep.
And then you are just having a good time acting up. And does that diminish your own political opinion? If you can act out however you feel, yes or no?
Define acting up though.
No, I'm saying how you show up in your everyday life. Do you like to be a menace some days?
Do I be a menace?
Yeah,
sometimes.
Right, because I see how you act on social media, right? And so because of how you act on social media, does that make you less credible to give a political opinion or put your support behind somebody else? Yes or no?
No, it don't.
Exactly. So no. That's not how that works. And so you got, but that's not fair, right?
If I go to a rally, whether I'm going to Kamala, Trump, Biden, Obama, whoever, you ain't gonna see me shaking my behind in front of all them people, okay?
But we don't have. But oh my goodness. And so even at the end of the day, right? Even if you have an issue with twerking in politics, that's what it sounds like. You have an issue with twerking in politics, but you don't have a problem with wrestlers acting like they ain't got no sense. You don't have an issue with anybody. Like that's my question, right?
If we talking about wrestlers acting like they got no sense,
if you just want to use celebrities in general,
hold on, because a wrestler giving a speech endorsing another president. All right, that's one thing. But if you talking about them on their show doing their thing, that's a different thing.
So you think, okay, so maybe you don't want to use Megan Thee Stallion. Did you have an issue with how Beyonce did her thing?
Had an issue how Beyonce did her thing? I mean...
Yes or no?
Did she twerk on there too?
I'm asking you the question because if you want to just use parallel examples, right? If we want to talk around, Hulk Hogan gave a speech for Donald Trump. Beyonce gave a speech for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Beyonce gave
So you're fine with that, yes or no?
Yeah, I'm fine with Beyonce giving a speech.
Okay, so you were just more upset about Megan Thee Stallion doing a performance that they paid her for instead.
That they paid her for. Yeah.
Well, not even paid because you don't get paid for that kind of stuff.
Oh,
right?
They paid her. They paid her.
Sure.
Yeah, because all they want to get is some young people.
All right, can I get my little 2 cents on this?
Okay, using the N word.
Well, yeah, that too.
Can I get my 2 cents real quick?
Ricky.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
All right, no problem. Like kind of like on a more serious note, right? I understand what you're saying. I think it's more. I think it more come down to the message. Like, so I feel the same way. I mean,
feel the same way with who?
So about Megan Thee Stallion, because in politics, right? In politics, you're gonna have celebrity endorsements. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
When I was growing up, not even when I was growing up, because his heyday was even before my time. But Hulk Hogan, his whole shtick was to work out, say your prayers, take your vitamins, all of that. His whole persona was positive. Now, when you talk about Megan Thee Stallion, and people gonna feel how they gonna feel, I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna say. Because going back to the conversation that we had earlier, right? to me, I feel like it's kind of like insulting. I ain't have a problem with Beyonce getting up there and giving her spill and saying the reason why.
No,
hold on.
But listen to what he's saying.
But what I'm saying is that, like, again, if we gonna go back to we say, okay, well, black people, we got these problems, we got that problem, we got this going on, we got that going on. Like, you know, one of the biggest problems that we have is the things that we celebrate and that we, you know, uplift and that we idolize is like.
So why are you uplifting Hulk Hogan?
So again, I'm gonna go back to, because at the end of the day, like, you know, professional wrestling, Hulk Hogan, regardless of how we feel about, he said the N-word and all that, cool. Before all of that, Hulk Hogan was a positive influence on young people, however you feel. His message to children was, say your prayers, take your vitamins, work out. It was not negative.
So, but can I push real quick?
Go ahead.
Megan Thee Stallion ensures that people are working out, right? Yes or no?
But Megan Thee Stallion talks about,
hold
okay,
on.
All right, working out.
Yes or no? She works out. She also said, no, I'm not done. She also encouraged folks to make sure they stay in school.
And she also encouraged young women to dress loosely and to be provocative and to throw their ass and pussy around. I'm sorry.
But
that's her message to the young girls.
And I know we're trying to utilize.
We gotta be honest about this stuff.
No, I think you need to.
You got a daughter? You got a daughter, bro?
No.
I have a daughter. She's 21 years old. Hold on, I raised a daughter by myself. Hold on, I'm explaining this to you. If I had a choice and I said, hey, I want my daughter to look up to somebody, it's not going to be Megan Thee Stallion. Listen, one of the worst things I ever seen in my life. Hold on, I'm gonna just explain it to you, because I'm giving you from the perspective of a man and a father. The only reason that I have a problem with Megan Thee Stallion is because the imagery and the message that she pushes to the young women. If my daughter is 21, so she watches it now, it's no way on earth that I would ever want my daughter to watch and look at Megan Thee Stallion as something to be or a role model or nothing like that. I just wouldn't. And that's the type of stuff that gets pushed to young women. So at the end of the day, I'm just saying, as a man, when I look at a politician, I'm looking at a politician that's saying, hey, I'm going to get somebody to get out a message to the young people, and it's somebody with that type of persona. I don't like it. I'm not saying everybody don't have to like it. I'm just telling you, for me, I just think that it's horrible. I just think that it's a bad thing. Just same way I think it's bad when I see a grown woman sitting down with her 8-year-old daughter on the couch watching baddies and letting her mind get infiltrated with all this nonsense. That's not something that for young women, but that's what y'all do. Y'all let our young black children, we cry victim, but then we poison our children with all this stuff. We put all this shit in their minds, and then we say, oh, we just victims because we black. Nah, man, we can't do that, man. We can't do that, bro. Megan Thee Stallion is not a good role model for young women.
We got a lot of questions to get through. Right? You threw it off.
She's not a good role model for young women. You can't swear that. Hold on, man. You cannot swear. If we just being honest, and you an educator, you want your young female student to look at Megan Thee Stallion as a role model, bro?
Megan graduated from college.
I don't care. That's not the message that she's pushing to these girls.
No.
She's pushing shake your ass and twerk and all that bullshit.
We're moving away from
if I'm running for president, I ain't gonna have Megan Thee Stallion talking to young people and telling them to vote for me.
But you're not running for president.
I'm not running for president.
So what I'm also gonna,
that's the problem. We as black people, we want to push debauchery and deviancy to our young people and then cry.
No, because we can't. We literally cannot
do that, man.
No, hold on.
We want to push demonic forces in our kids and then cry.
Really quick.
Come on, man. We can't do that. Come on, man. Y'all want to give these kids Satan and then cry about what's what? Come on, man.
So hold on.
Come on, man.
Justin,
man.
No, you can't. You can't yeet that real quick because he just contradicted himself.
I didn't contradict myself.
No. We're gonna come back to the conservative versus liberal, right? And so as you were talking around the conservative versus liberal earlier, we were talking around the use of family values, right?
Yep.
And that's what you're talking around.
Yep.
You're also talking around the ability to say, if you are somebody who is raising your child and you're in a 2-parent household, and so their first person that they are first looking at is who?
Their parents.
Their parents, right? And so if we are going to go through that logic, Megan Thee Stallion being an entertainer actually should have no bearing on
It
your
does,
child.
though,
I'm
because
not
black
done.
families
I'm walking you through the line of
the
thinking.
black family is destroyed.
I'm
It doesn't
walking
even
you
exist
through the
anymore.
line of
Let's give him a
thinking.
80% of
little
kids
longer,
don't have a
And
mother and
so-
father in the household no more.
Ricky,
so that don't even matter.
Go
They're
ahead.
being
Okay,
raised
let's
by
give him a little
rappers
longer.
and
Let's
Megan
give
Thee
him a little
Stallions and
longer.
King
All
Von.
right,
That's
fair,
the
bro.
truth.
The one finger is in the air.
All right, I'm gonna
okay?
stop talking.
That means my hand go up, all mouths go shut.
So go ahead. I'm gonna stop talking. Go
All
ahead.
right. I'm gonna ask you a question, my brother. Would you let your child, right? Let's say you have a daughter, right? Would you let them listen to that song?
Julian,
WAP.
stick to
Let's
the
be clear.
script,
To the
Rob.
script, man.
So we can. I'm gonna bring it back. Don't worry, I got you.
And then that's gonna be the
No.
last one I do on these
Yeah,
celebrities.
you're bringing up Hulk Hogan
Yeah.
and all these different people.
But I mean, it does connect to like how liberals versus conservatives move, right? So you lean a lot more conservative in terms of these talking points, right?
Yes, he does.
And
And
so
some of
because you do lean that conservative way too, you are very quick to condemn, right, our own expression of people. Because you didn't say no. Because
I'm
do you
letting you
admire folks from the continent of Africa?
I do in my
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna go there. So twerking from the beginning was always an ancestral piece of movement. It's something that black people have done. It's nothing that is out of sorts. Now, where the respectable Negro comes out of, y'all, is also just talking around how we had imagery of a Malcolm X, a Martin Luther King, these folks who are actual political leaders in our communities. And we were able to name so many people earlier in this episode, right? And so because we were able to do that and also name the fact that these folks are also ensuring that everybody is taken care of, but y'all were so quick to throw away folks that you don't deem as respectable enough or should not be in front of your kids. The reason I was actually pushing a little bit more and asking is because, yes, you were able to go beyond just the entertainer of Hulk Hogan. You were not able to go beyond. You didn't have the wherewithal or consideration to go beyond a black woman named Megan Thee Stallion. Even though I can tell you, she graduated from college with a, I'm not done, with a healthcare, sorry, that was crazy. That's your show. But Megan Thee Stallion is somebody who works in healthcare. She's somebody who graduated. She's somebody who owns a business. She's somebody who also encourages people to be healthy. We want black folks to be healthy, yes or no?
We do.
So when we are talking about that too, if you just go beyond what she is doing and what she actually embodies, she's actually helping out young black women get to college. She's actually helping young black girls in Houston who have lost parents. So yes, you have to actually talk around what has she physically done for the black community and where has she invested into? And so if you have not done your own due diligence around how she and black women countlessly have been assisting the black community in terms of housing insecurity, food insecurity, health insecurity, black women who are dying having babies, right? You cannot tell me that you believe in a politic of conservatism or folks who want you dead. And so but let's be clear. Let's be very clear. By espousing that politic, that goes just beyond because you now are deeming who is worthy and who is not.
I'm not.
I'm not saying you. I'm talking to him right now. And so because of that, and when you argue those kind of points as well, that's when that goes into your politic because there's a culture of the folks who don't want black women to look a particular kind of way. But you could not name black women who are absolutely doing some of the best things. Some of the black women that you believe are the most put together, right? It's very quick for you to condemn a small group of folks, but you couldn't even uplift that's black women are probably the reason you're here right now, are probably the reason you survived a lot of the ways that you did. And so to me, it does not make any sense for y'all to be so quick to condemn a young black woman and also not worry about the everyday life of how this goes. So yes, do I always want to see if Megan Thee Stallion's twerking? Whatever, right? We've all grown up with listening to music that we should not have been listening to. You were probably listening to R. Kelly growing up and you shouldn't have been listening to his music, but you came out how you came out, right? Okay. And so if that is the case, we as men have been listening to music, but you're so quick to say girls are infiltrated by this entertainment, but we were not impacted?
Well, I also, right after I stopped talking, I also
did.
said King Von. It's the same thing. It's two sides of a coin. It's the same. This is all I'm saying. Okay.
But do you agree with what I was saying?
To some degree. This is what I'm saying to you. I know Megan Thee Stallion graduated and all of that, but this is what I'm saying. Her message, her message overall the biggest message that she has is in her music. She's not rapping about going to college. She's not rapping about going to college.
She does. She goes, I'm not just a hot girl. I also got degrees. What?
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. That's cool. All right. That's cool. I'm just all right. All right. From just on a basic level, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the hood. Let's go sit down and talk to a group of young women. They listen to Megan Thee Stallion. Do you think that these young girls are that's the message that they're receiving from Megan Thee Stallion?
Let's also be careful. Young girls are statistically having got less sex than anybody.
All right, but that's not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying in general. We can say the same thing with the boys. our young boys. Okay, same thing. I have sons. I have sons too. Okay.
Yeah, I mentor a lot of black boys.
So what I'm saying, I'm not saying, I know that we all grew up listening to things that probably we shouldn't have.
Yes.
And guess what? And guess what the reality of it is? Guess what? A lot of us go to jail. A lot of us is dead. A lot of us are now grown-ass losers because we listen to that music, we emulate it in our real lives, and now we fucked up. You don't think that? You don't think that niggas grew up listening to Jeezy, went outside and sold drugs, and now they sitting in fucking prison? You don't think that's a real thing? You don't think that this young niggas locked up in prison? Hold on. You don't think that these young niggas who don't want to do nothing but shoot a gun wasn't listening to Ken Von?
I would actually like to.
This is real life.
I also want to be able to push too because I'm also somebody who volunteered at the youth prison, right? And so going up to that prison and actually working with these young boys and working on their social emotional development, helping them regulate their emotions and actually hearing the stories of how these things happen. It's not music that they're actually citing, right? It's a failure of community that they're citing. It's a failure of folks being able to take care of them and tell them you don't need. They were pressured into shooting. I have 13-year-old boys that I was helping who are currently incarcerated, and they are like, well, I got 20 years. At least I know I'll be up by 33, right? That is not saying, right, that the music led them there. That is saying a failure of community and guidance. I mentor 5 black boys who are going to college, who are figuring out their way through, that I've been with for the last 6 years. And so when we have these conversations, I think it is very important to also make sure that you are also being responsible, because if your lived experience is telling you, how many black boys do you have in your life that you take care of?
I mentor 1 or 2.
1 or 2. How many black boys do you take care of?
I mentor a couple.
Okay. And you know, simply by your presence being there, it gives them more space to be having somebody to look up to. Do you think you're somebody worth looking up to?
Yes.
Okay. So if that is what you believe, and then also as we are talking around these politics and we're talking about music and we're talking about everything else, the earliest intervention you can do is make sure that a black boy knows that they can go to you and look up to you. So no, you cannot blame the music. You cannot blame TV. That's a scapegoat argument.
Can I ask one more question?
No scapegoat.
So how do you explain? How do you explain?
Can we get to these comments, Ricky, really quick?
All right, come on, go ahead. Let's go.
And then we probably
we gotta go. All right, come on, we gotta do it.
All right.
Rob, read them through.
So
Rapid
the music
fire,
is the
please.
problem, but not systematic inequality. Music make people sell drugs, but not economic barriers.
Yep.
Y'all patriotic and Republican talking points all the time. We're debating liberals versus conservatives. All right. Look, I'm gonna take this right here, okay? Look, I get everything you're saying, okay? But we can't just say media doesn't have a big strong
Never said
point.
that. I studied media. I know that media has a strong point on folks. What I'm saying is you're an intervention, which means you can prevent some of this and course correct. So yes, social media absolutely has an impact on how folks are moving.
I'm not just talking about social media. I'm talking about
TV, film, music,
yes.
Everything. That's all media.
Yes.
And so yes, in that media, it absolutely has an impact. Music literally you can play chords that can make you sad. They make you cry. They can make you. They can turn you angry. Right?
Songs that makes you angry.
Yes,
and
but what
I listen to a lot of them rap songs. I can tell you, some of them songs make me depressed.
Yes.
Some of them songs I have to think about when they talking about another man having sex with your woman, and you gotta think in your mind like, man, Is there another man that's having sex with my woman?
Well, I hope you also have a strong sense of self as well. That's also right. And so,
but if you listen to that a lot and play it over and over, you're gonna be thinking that in your mind.
I listen to sad music when I clean on Sundays.
But bro, hold on.
Jasmine Sullivan on a Sunday.
Hold on. But this is the thing, though. This is what I'm saying.
I listen to lo-fi, so I love sad music.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying, though, right? Because I hear what the person in the comments meant, and when I'm saying music, obviously, I'm not saying that it's music and not this, that, and the third disparities and all of that. Well, it's a combination of things. So again, I keep saying that we have a lot of these. Hold on, but
I'm agreeing with you.
But too often, what happens is we try to downplay the role. I'm just telling you, you know how you say you mentor kids. I have kids. I got little cousins. I got a lot. I'll give you a prime example. There are a bunch of kids out here that, and it's unfortunate, but you got kids that come from good homes that's not raised like that, but they're influenced. They want to be in the streets. I want to be. I can just use myself an example. Growing up, I want to be a street nigga, not because I can't, not because I got all of this stuff going against me. It's because I want to. Why?
You want to feel
because
cool.
all the influences around me say that this is the way I should go. So this is what I'm saying. When I'm outside and I'm walking around, and I know for a fact I've seen it. Well, the reason that we have, and there's no doubt about it, we could say, the community. If the community is a problem, a lack of fathers is a problem. The collapse of the family is a problem. But the reason why hold on.
Ricky,
let me just say this one thing, and then I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
The reason that we have 14-year-old boys running around with all black and a clip as long as my arm with a poo shiesty on is because of the music. Point blank. Period. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing.
Marquise, but I think Marquise trying to say that it's the lack of community, and you did bring up the
and then guess what? The lack of community allows the music to come in and demonize our children, and that's why they run around talking about I'm on demon time, and they got a gun with an extended clip. Come on, man. Let's not. Black people. I never would have thought I would have seen a time where black people would say I'm on demon. When I was growing up, we never wanted to be associated with nothing demonic. But now we on demon time. Come on, man. Come on, man. We got 14-year-olds running around with guns. Come on, man.
World of Controversy 79.
Yeah,
World
man,
of
we gotta do a part 2,
79.
man, because I ain't done talking.
Don't worry, part 2 is coming.
We got Julian Rob on the track. My name is Germ Griffin. You follow me at Germ Twix on Twitter. Julian Robinson on the track. You can follow him at
JWizzle _ on Instagram.
People stumbling on their own at name. We got Panamanian Ricky. we got Marquise on. Listen.
All right.
If y'all would like to promote anything, please, this is the time to promote whatever you would like. Please.
Yes.
I'm cracking up. I'll start real quick. And so, my name is Marquise Davon. You can hit me, Marquise Davon, Marquise Davon, across all platforms. Please make sure to subscribe to Keepin It a Bean podcast. On Sunday, October 12th, we will be having my live show as well. Okay. And that'll be at Indie Hall from 11 to 2. There you can taste some of my own, my coffee brand, Leroy's Blend, as well, being served by BVP Coffee. And then also get a conversation on how to ensure that black boys and black men in education can make sure that they are sustained for as long as possible, so we can do that kind of impactful work. If you buy some of my coffee as well, you'll also be donating to an HBCU scholarship fund. And so this way, as they are attempting to take money away from our HBCUs and making sure that black people get to college, you can also just ensure that you are supporting another black person trying to better their education. So just make sure you follow me across all platforms. And yeah, that's me.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Come on, Ricky.
It's my turn?
Yeah.
Panamanian Ricky. I'm Panamanian _ Ricky on probably every platform that I'm on. I want to do certain things. I want to podcast. I like talking. I like having these conversations. So, all that stuff is probably coming soon. I just want to say, before we go, I'm just going to send us off with this, right? The only thing I want to say is that I love black people. Black conservatives love black people in the black community. We just probably just feel like we need to hold people accountable. Y'all need to stop telling us that we coons and Uncle Toms and we tap dance for the white man, because at the end of the day, we really just expect more from our own people. And we love y'all. And you know, the worst thing that you can do is tell a man that they tap dancing, because it's almost like questioning his manhood. So you know, that's it, man. I'm Panamanian Ricky, and I'm that on every platform.
All right, well, that's the end of our show. We are going to have part 2. I think we're going to have part 2 for next season, for sure.
We might have to have a part 3.
Part 3,
but we gotta do it different. You gotta start shutting people down, and you can't. You're banned from talking about any wrestling next season, the season after. I don't want to hear Hulk Hogan.
Can I finish?
Hulk Hogan, nothing.
Bro, can I finish?
All this was your fault.
You know it ain't my fault.
You got this man about to have a stroke out here, man.
No, that's just who I am, man.
The blood pressure done got to him. This is your fault.
It ain't my fault. Hey. Well, this is the end of the episode. Follow us on WC_podcast on Instagram, WC_pod on Twitter, WC_pod on
Twitter.
I said Twitter. Oh, WC_pod podcast on TikTok. Word Conspiracy Podcast on Facebook. Word Conspiracy Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you find a podcast at. Oh, and WC_pod on YouTube. And that's it for you guys. Good night.